Alright, bitches, so this is the Week 5 recap, drunk edition, on a late Wednesday night. I got my guest star here, Kit Docker. He's going to offer some commentary and do a guest spot. So, jumping right into it, we got, I'm not going to go through all of the scores from this last week because I feel like you guys have your own fucking browsers, alright? You can see the scores. I'm just going to touch on my own personal opinion on what I feel like were some of the key matchups. So, getting right into it, we got James against Brad, alright? The UPS Freight Train against the Hamburglers. Going into this matchup, Freight Train was unbeaten, alright? 4-0. And we got Hamburglers that was 2-2, alright? It was a pretty good matchup. And it turns out, won by less than 1 point. 0.8 to be exact. And why was that, Dockery?
Well, let's be honest, gentlemen. A game-ending injury that turned into a season-ending injury to one of the top players in our league, period. Who was it?
Julio Jones, or as I like to refer to as Julia Jones, went out for the season. Number 1 wide receiver through 4 weeks, went out on a season-ending injury, and he's done. Done.
Kaput.
Fuck you, James.
Kaput.
Your number 1 scorer is out. I hope you have a backup plan because you need it. Going back into the next matchup, I feel like was pivotal. We had Keys Crushers against Team FedEx in Your Face. That's William against Dennis. And, I feel like that one could have swung in the other direction. Dennis won by about 10 points. A little bit less than 10 points, actually, to be exact. And, you know what? William started to blank. Blank, fucking William. You have to set your goddamn lineup. I swear to God. If you had started anybody in that position, probably would have won that game. Dennis would be fucking 3-2, and you would be 2-3. But god damn it, you didn't start anybody. You took a blank, and Dennis pulled away with less than 10 points. 9.7. I don't give a shit.
And let that be a reminder to us all. Check your lineups, man. Every week, check who's on bye. Check who went out on injury.
Alright, we're all fucking busy.
Tough.
It takes like an hour a week to set your lineup. Set your goddamn lineup. Alright, getting away from that. That was really the only 2 close matchups of this week. Good for them. James lost, and Dennis wins. No big, really, surprise there. So, jumping into the standings, we've actually narrowed into something that's a little bit more realistic for 4 weeks. Going into weeks 2, 3, it was kind of interesting. We had a big spread of standings, but now we're a little bit more even. All right, we got one unbeaten team, that's Eric Hopkins. That's through 5 weeks now. We have one winless team, and that's Art Collins. Art, your fucking team sucks, all right? You got to get it together. Make some trades. I don't care.
Terrible.
Do something. We have 2 people that are way worse than you that still have a win. We have 2 4-1 teams. We have 1 or 2 1-4 teams. We have 3 3-2 teams and 3 2-3 teams.
Even
all right, it's a fucking bunch of numbers. All right, it makes sense when you're looking at it, but talking about it, it's pretty even. It's a parallel. It's parallel is what it is. All right, we're much more even now. So going into it, we got some interesting matchups coming in this next week. Given that, I'm going to deter to my guest spot, Dockery. Let's talk about next week's matchups.
Absolutely. We have some very interesting matchups this week. Let's start with a matchup of winners, because obviously losers come last. So this week's interesting matchup is going to be James versus Dennis. That's UPS Freight Train versus Keys Crushers. Both 4-1. But the game they are scheduled is pretty tight. We're looking at a projection here of 310 to 305. It's about as tight as it gets against some good numbers, some good teams here. I think season long, this is going to make a big impact. You're seeing these people who are going to solidify the 1 and 2 position to somebody going down to the pack, the field, fighting for territory. That's very interesting. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the losers, the nobody cares people. And in that slot, we have John. John at 1-4, killing it, 1-4. But even better than John, Art Collins. 0-5, just terrible. But everybody likes to watch a sludge fest against just 2 terrible people, and this is what we have this week. Projection-wise, not anything as glorious as what I just said. 161 versus 223. it's gonna be fun to watch. I encourage us all to watch both games and cheer on both our losers and our winners.
Follow them closely.
But if I had to make a pick versus who's gonna win this week versus who's gonna not, that's
right. So we're gonna go through
yeah.
the next segment, which is fucking Dockery's picks. We're gonna go through all 6 rounds, all 6 matchups of next week, real quick. So we got Brad Tate against Derek Powell. What we got?
I'm going to take Derek Powell. I think he's got a better team. I don't think his record does it justice. It should be an interesting watch.
All right, so we got Paul Marinoni versus Kit Dockery.
This is a tough one. I'm going to say
close to home.
It hits close to home. I'm going to say myself, if the only reason why is being honest, Peyton Manning's has a historic season. Historic, I'm going to write him.
Oh, you're going to write him. Okay, so we got Keys Crushers and UPS Freight Train. All right, let's get to the nitty-gritty. Who do you take?
This is a very tough one. We just went over the projections. I'm going to take James. Because I think he has a lineup with more depth to it. I think Dennis has a lot of people that can hit big, but a lot of people can take big shits on him as well.
All right, that's impressive after the Julio Jones injury. So, who we got in between John Menelace and Art Collins? The losers of the league.
I don't think anybody can make a fair assessment on that because they're just so terrible and they have terrible players. But if I had to give it to someone, I'm gonna root for the underdog here. I'm gonna say Art Collins is gonna take it. Not by much, but I think he's gonna take it.
All right, so going through the rest of these, we got a 5-0 team: Eric Hopkins versus William Gallardo, the 1-4.
William can't even set his lineup. Just counting the fact that fucking Hopkins is 5-0, William cannot be bothered to set his lineup automatically.
Yeah, we got that. So we got Hopkins. All right. So we got Max Space Popes against Reeve, the Baton Rouge Raccoonicorns.
You know what? As much as I hate Max, as much as I do because I hate you, I'm going to go with Max. I think he's going to have a breakout week, and I think we should all be worried.
I think Max is taking an upswing as he usually
does
mid-season. So there you have it, guys. That's the Week 6 projections from the man, Dockery. Getting back to the rest of it, wrapping things up, we have a trade that's going through right now. I would encourage you all to get involved. If you disagree with this, please do vote, because it will go through without your vote against it. And this guy is against it.
I am. But get on there and vote, gentlemen, because it's a team effort. It's a league-wide effort. Get on there.
And I will benefit from it. So please vote if you do not want me to benefit from it.
Don't let this faggot win, guys.
All right. And also, I would encourage you again to weigh in on the kicker scoring change that has been proposed for next season. Please do vote. Or give some opinion or something, all right? This is a year-by-year league, all right? It is ongoing. Please do vote. Please do give your opinion. Get involved on the message boards, all of you, every week. I hope to see an exciting Week 6.
I think we will have one.
Fuck yeah, we'll have one. And James is going to lose. And Max is going to lose.
Fuck you, Max.
This guy's going to lose. All right.
I'm going to win.